Hey guys, so today I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach to this tutorial. So today we're going to be going over how to find the best business insurance for your cafe or catering company. Now, you need to have insurance to be able to sell food to the public. Um, you could operate without it, but if depending on your area, your council, your whoever finds out that you don't have insurance, they could potentially shut you down due to risk. No one should be going out of their way to harm the public, to give bad food, so on and so forth. Sometimes, despite measures you have in place, some raw product might be contaminated with something that wasn't your fault, that couldn't have been detected but still got customers sick. In those instances, there is this hierarchy of what can be done, but you want to have public liability and employer's liability insurance. And if you are renting, own whatever unit, you should have building insurance as well. You do not want to be up and running without it. Accidents happen, natural events happen, fires happen, flooding happens, food poisoning happens. People will push lawsuits. People might claim unlawful dismissal. So you want to be covered in all these cases, and insurance is a really good place to start beyond just knowing rules and the regulations. But how do you go about this? So we're going to go to our favorite search engine here, Google. Different countries, cities, councils, anywhere might have different legislation depending where you're at. So definitely look this up specific to your area. There's going to be a heavy overlap, but it's better to be safe than sorry. I will say that our public liability insurance covers up to $1 million, and employer liability, I think, is about a third of that. That's because we go to public events. So if there's large foot traffic, you want higher coverage in case of a catastrophic event. So let's start with coverage though. So necessary public liability insurance minimum for Fulham, London. UK. We're going to get specific because I don't have BP on them. So up to 5 million, it's not right for everyone. This is actually a good company to ask questions for. We used MarketLine. Again, public liability isn't a requirement, but in case something happens, I would strongly recommend it. So minimum it lists is 5 million here. So definitely, if our employer, look into it for sure. But once you have how much coverage you need, I would also gather a list of questions to ask. These are, can you cover my new business? I just started operating. I don't know what my turnover is. Some companies don't want to insure new businesses. They want established businesses looking to change providers. So ask if they're accepting new businesses. Ask if they cover restaurants. Ask if they can bundle employer and public and building all together. The more you can bundle, the bigger discount you usually get because now it's all in one. Whereas if you have to go to 3 different providers, you're going to usually end up paying more because more often than not, they give you a premium on bundling. So keep that in mind. It's going to be what happens if I need to file a claim? How simple will this process be? Will my insurance premium go up if I have to file a claim? Is there anything I have to pay up front for insurance to pay out? Some do have like a deductible of sorts to pay. Go through the full remit. Is flooding covered? Is fire covered? Is vandalism? Do you cover plate glass? Plate glass are the big picture windows in shop fronts that you can't open. Those are very expensive to replace. Again, stones can be thrown off the street. People can break it. If it's not covered, that's one of the most expensive windows to replace because it's big, because they're hard to recover, because there's all these factors. Be sure that's covered. Be sure you have, when you're doing your purchases, my equipment is valued at X, my stock is valued at Y. Will you cover at least this full amount should there be a fire that wipes out the entire facility and I have to rebuild? There's tenants that live above me. What happens if they start a fire and it damages my property? What happens if a fire catches in my space and the tenants above have damaged property? You want to ask all these questions. And this is more open-ended advice. When you're finding all these providers, find someone that meshes with you, that answers your questions the way you need to hear them answered, that's friendly, that's helpful. Again, we use MarketLine, but you can use AXA. Again, some banks provide it. Here's another one. Here's another one. Like there's loads. I would recommend you contact like 20 of them, send them all an email, call them up, and take notes. And see who you like best, narrow it down, see whose premium for you might be a little less for the same coverage. It's also why we chose who we went with. There's other providers that provide the exact same thing, but we're going to have to pay more for coverage. So set a budget, stick to your budget. Be sure your bases are covered. Be sure to fully disclose all of your operations plans when on the phone. That means, are you going to do catering? Are you going to do public events? Are you going to go to market stalls? Are you only going to have your shop front? Whatever it might be, disclose that. Do you have business vehicles or vans that you drive to and from events with? You might want that added in for specialty equipment, for vehicle coverage. So that's just the start. Once you contact them, like I said, take notes. And then from there, really, it is all up to you. What's the best value, who feels best, and then you pay your premium and you have it. And then you'll get your e-certificates and likely some mailed to you, and then you can get going with operating your business. You can start selling to the public. You can get people to come do your food hygiene rating. But again, just to whip through those tips again, start with looking at your local council or talking to a local council member, how much coverage is needed for each aspect of your business in that area. Head to Google, go look at business insurance, cafe insurance providers, restaurant insurance providers near me. So it picks up the ones by you. Contact a good 20 of them and see who's weeded out. Honestly, 10 people could work to weed through. I would highly recommend contacting like 20. There's lots of insurance providers. You want to be sure you're going to meld together well. So, should you need any help finding an insurance provider, please just send us an email or drop a comment below, and we'd be more than happy to help you. But again, you do need these insurances. In case of accident, you do not want to have to be paying out of pocket for food poisoning, for fire damage, for broken glass, for anything else. It will be costly. It could bankrupt you. It could be lawsuits. So be sure you have insurance and that you are fully covered.